Hey, hey, party people. How's it going?
It's going
Oh,
great, Elon. How are you doing?
hey,
Are you idiocracized already?
yes, and I feel like an idiot because just right up front, I'm just gonna be transparent with everybody listening to the podcast or joining this or watching it on demand. I totally forgot to watch Idiocracy for this podcast.
Well, I
Uh,
did not. I did watch it. So this is
yes,
going to be the Derek show today. So if you don't
a
like
lot,
me, leave.
a lot has happened over the past week,
What's up, bro,
weekend,
Cinco?
especially. Hey, bro, Cinco, thanks for joining us. Like, honestly, you're one of the ones that joins us quite a bit. So
All the
we
times.
really
All the times.
appreciate your support.
Love
Um,
Cinco. Yeah, right.
yes, honestly, it is a
Documentary. What's
documentary.
that?
I mean, just the fact that there's a UFC fight happening at the White
Yeah.
House.
Yeah. We're just missing the shotguns and the machine guns in the
Yeah,
air.
this is textbook. Like this
Yeah.
idiocracy called it to so many degrees.
Yeah, you know what's funny
Um,
about this movie? As I was like reading up on kind of the history and the making of, and Mike Judge trying to get it off the ground initially,
mhm.
the original title of the movie was supposed to be "The United States of America," which I find so funny because like that's kind of the like what like
Uh,
from the toilet. Um, I think that would have been a very fitting movie and might have actually been a little bit more prescient. However, I do
Mhm.
like Idiocracy, and I do like that on the DVD, they spell out or like the pronunciation is like spelled out below the
Oh, no
title.
way.
It's
Of
pretty
course.
funny.
So when I say I haven't watched it for this podcast or this live stream, that isn't to say I haven't seen it at all. I have seen it, but it's been a very long time. So a lot of the details
It's just
are
not fresh. It's just not
gone.
fresh.
So yes, I do remember enjoying it. It was hilarious. It's definitely just my type of humor. Just very, yeah, very smart, very silly, but at the same time genius. To be honest, which is
Yeah.
honestly Mike Judge, like in a nutshell. He's got the most bizarre stuff that he's put out, Beavis and Butthead, Silicon Valley, but at the same
Office
time,
Space.
incredibly
He's so good with
smart.
satire. He's so good with satire.
Yeah, it's
I like
just
um I like especially with this movie, Office Space is probably I think a little bit better at it, but I think
mhm,
this movie applies to more like more people will get the satire I think in Idiocracy than would in Office. Like Office Space, you kind of have to work the day-to-day office job in order to kind of
yes.
get it or whatever. Whereas Idiocracy is just kind of really mocking American culture as a whole. Um, and the part that I think is I'm curious about with this movie. Well, we'll get into the generals. We have to do our ratings of it and everything like that. But I just wonder if anybody has made like a checklist of the things in this movie that somehow apply to real life now,
Mm,
because there's a ton of stuff in this movie that is just like, there's some subtle stuff, but there's some very like overt in your face stuff that is
mhm.
also, I don't know, just very prescient,
Yeah,
very
dude.
prescient.
Well, I guess I'll start with my rating first since I didn't
Yeah.
watch it. At least back in the day, like I said, I thought it was great. um, but yeah, I agree that I think Office Space does pull off this type of satire. It's a little bit more polished, like well, a little bit more. I don't know. Like obviously, Mike Judge learned some things,
Hmm.
or I don't know. Wait a minute, was Office Space after Idiocracy, or was it the other way around?
I honestly don't know because I thought that it was the other way around, but now I'm looking at the front of the DVD and it says from the creator of Office Space. So Office Space had to be first before this one. Unless this was just
Oh.
released.
Yeah, it could have been the DVDs. Yeah, Office Space was 1999.
Yeah, and actually, Cinco, since you mentioned it in the comments, this movie needs a 4K. This movie doesn't even have a Blu-ray release.
Yeah, dude.
I was certain that I owned this movie on Blu-ray, and when I went to my shelf, to pick it up to watch it or whatever, a Blu-ray copy was nowhere to be found. So then I went online to try and see if I could buy a Blu-ray copy of it, and there's no Blu-ray. There's no Blu-ray, which is really odd to me because it was filmed on 35 millimeter.
Yeah.
It was a 2K digital master. So it's not $6.99 Barnes and Noble widescreen too, because there's a pan and scan version and a widescreen version. The
Oh.
widescreen version is $6.99. Get it now. I don't know if it was on sale or not, but it was like $6 when I went to look at it. Because I literally thought I was like, oh, $6 for the Blu-ray, and then everywhere I kept seeing it was like, nope, $6.99 for a DVD.
Wow.
So, and I don't know if this is kind of preempting what you're planning on doing at all, Elin, but for shelf worthy, no, it's not. The only reason it's shelf worthy is because it's literally the only way to watch this movie. But there are the only no director's commentary, no commentary to speak of,
Oh.
no additional audio tracks or anything like that. The special features are literally just 5 scenes that I'm pretty sure are from like a screen print or a work print of the movie because they're pretty darn rough. There's like 2 of them that are not, but they're pretty rough. It's just 5 deleted scenes. That's it.
Oh, yikes.
That's it. Yeah.
Because I can only imagine if somebody like Arrow Video were to, put money behind this, that Mike Judge would be totally down for like having that much, just talking about the behind the scenes to just the nth degree, honestly. Because I mean, like you can say nostalgia bait, but at the same time, like it really is like a way to get that much more money with something you've done that long ago.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah, well,
wouldn't, I personally wouldn't consider it nostalgia bait because I would jump all over that if there was like extensive behind the scenes stuff, since there literally isn't now.
yeah, and I wonder if they have access to all that stuff because I know
Yeah.
he did a Joe Rogan interview on the Joe Rogan podcast like back in 2022.
Mhm.
And they briefly talked about the movie, and he talks about how it was cursed, how everything that could have gone wrong with the movie like definitely went wrong, and then even
Oh.
stuff that they didn't plan for that like should have been a big deal was not. So like he mentioned that one of the things was the budget for the movie was really tight, like really small budget, really tight on it, and the costume designer was having trouble getting costumes together for everybody that felt futuristic but also really stupid, because obviously like materials would have improved at least initially up in that point, even if they didn't continue to. We would have had like cool futuristic clothes or whatever. And so one of the things that he talked about is they were running out of money and they needed to find shoes for everybody in the movie, and the
Right.
costume designer comes in and is like, hey, what if we like give everybody shoes that have holes in them and just like they're just full of holes or whatever? And so they ended up buying a bunch of these like plastic rubber / silicon shoes with holes in them. And they were like, well, what if people recognize them or whatever? And the costume designer apparently was like, no one in their right mind would ever buy these, so we don't have to worry about that. And then it turns out that they're Crocs. So
Right.
even if they had wanted to use Crocs as like an advertising thing for it, Crocs didn't become popular until well after this movie was released.
Yeah.
So he talks about all kinds of stuff like that.
And that kind of stuff would be gold as far as like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, even the
So
release, you know, like the fact that the movie was released only in I would want to check. I know IMDb I think had this listed somewhere, but they didn't
mm,
even release the movie in a bunch of theaters. It initially
yeah.
they shelved it for like a year after it was finished because the test screenings did not go well for it. They did a couple, I guess, just a small amount of focus groups after the initial test screenings to see if and what they could quote unquote fix about the movie.
Mm.
Um, 6 markets. The movie was released in 6 markets, and they skipped a release in New York City.
What?
Like what? The fact that this movie is even not just known by people, but it's like in the zeitgeist now is
Yeah.
crazy to me. With the fact that there is no non-DVD release and it wasn't released in many movie theaters. That is crazy. That is just crazy to me.
I mean, that's like indie level where it's just like a
Yeah.
limited release, you know? That's
I'm
crazy.
trying to think.
Seriously,
I'm looking through IMDb right now. I thought that they mentioned how many theaters its release was in, but I don't see
that's
anything
such an
specific to it.
anomaly, honestly. Like how it must have made the rounds because it like when did it actually come out? Was it 2002, 2004?
Idiocracy is
Yeah.
2006.
Oh.
Yeah, here it is. In addition to concerns about how to market the film, 20th Century Fox grew weary of the film's frequent harsh critiques of recognizable corporations. Studio executives wished to shuffle the movie to DVD shelves had to receive a theatrical release. So the studio met the terms of the contract, but provided no marketing for the film, released it in an unusually small number of cinemas in select cities, and pulled the film from all markets after only 1 week. So
Mhm.
little effort was put into showing the film in theaters that some of the few cinemas that screened the film were actually forced to promote it as an untitled Mike Judge project.
Oh
Isn't that
my
crazy? And
god.
I love this movie. It has faults, so my rating is probably actually kind of similar to where like the batteries and not included stuff is. I give it like
Yeah.
a high 7, I think, maybe like a
Mm.
7.7 or so. Because there's just a lot of stuff that's rough in it. The visual effects, the matte paintings are actually pretty sad in some scenes. Um, Especially
Very
the garbage
obvious.
piles. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. But again, without knowing any of like the behind the scenes stuff really, because there is no supplemental footage, there's no director's commentary on the DVD, there's nothing. That's literally the as a movie release on disc, it's not shelf worthy. But the fact that it only exists in this format really is to me what makes it shelf worthy. Because I
Right.
mean they could pull this at any time. I don't even know if it's on streaming.
I I don't think so because I think I was looking that up before.
Yeah, it looks like you can buy it on Prime Video. That's the closest you can get. So if you have Prime Video, you can buy it, but I
Right.
don't think you can stream it if you have like a Amazon Prime membership or whatever.
Well, you can buy it or rent it,
Yeah.
Prime Video or Apple TV. So,
Yeah, but I mean it's
wow.
not even available as like a month, you can't if you have a Prime subscription, you can't just stream it, excuse me, from Prime or Netflix or whatever. It has to be a purchase or a rent. That's it. And that's
That's
crazy.
crazy, man. Because I can only imagine 2006, you know, YouTube is in its infancy, um,
Hmm.
and streaming like Netflix is still doing the DVDs,
I was
sending
just gonna
sending
say
DVDs in the mail.
this was actually one of the movies I was in college when this came out, and I actually got this movie from Netflix via DVD.
I can only imagine that is
So
the reason that it became a cult classic was because Netflix, because you could do that, because you
you
could request that and have it sent to you, and or
you know what
Blockbuster or whatever.
I'm just realizing now because before we started the stream, I was telling you how I was positive that I had it on DVD because I have an ISO rip of it. I'm pretty sure now that's how I got it. I got it
from
from
Netflix.
Netflix, and I'm pretty sure I ripped the disc from Netflix. So shame on me, bad pirate. But I own it now, so take that, Fox. The statute of
The
limitations has passed.
Netflix police is watching this
Yeah,
stream.
yeah. All three of them. Cinco's the only natural viewer we have. All the rest of them are the Netflix disc
Right.
police.
Exactly.
Anyway, so
Wow.
what are some of the things you liked about this movie that you remember, Elon?
I mean, yeah, I just remember loving the absurdity of it. I That's just my bread and butter, just absurd comedy. Um, but also like I love how the fact that it's so absurd, but nobody's like winking to camera. Like the performances are just like locked in to just how absurd these people are, but in a way that's kind of
It's
like
taken seriously.
respectable, you
Yeah,
know?
it's taken seriously. Which I
Yeah.
personally for me that's the best comedy is when comedy can play it completely straight. Like sometimes it's good to have an audience insert character, and sometimes you gotta have the character that points out how ridiculous everything is, which is kind of Maya Rudolph's character in this. Oddly
Mm.
enough, despite the fact that she's like the prostitute that gets sucked into this for money or whatever,
Right.
um, I think her character's funny because she's the only one that is like, what? And like, actually, one of the deleted scenes is she's looking for the time machine because somebody tells her that there's a time machine, and she's looking for like the Museum of Art. And much like the buttfuckers scene where Fuddrucker slowly turns into there, the scene where she's looking for the art museum, this guy is like, "Well, why didn't you say so?" And he like points up, and it's the Museum of Fart, and it literally is just an entire building of old art pieces with giant red buttons on them where people can make fart sounds as they're looking at the art. And she's like, what the like she's her and not sure, or Joe, or whatever you want to call him,
Mhm.
are like the straight men in this. And I love when movies and shows do that, when the whole world is like ridiculous but played completely seriously, and then you have
Yeah.
like the characters that are just kind of like the bystanders in it. I love that.
Yeah, I know, and I have to mention, like, I know we talked about this before the stream started, but for those watching and listening, I I remember being so impressed with Dax Shepard's performance as such just complete
I
moron.
like money.
Yeah, like it just seems like anytime anybody engages in conversation with Dax Shepard's character, that nothing is computing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just literally in one ear out the other, which is hard to act. Like when's the last time you had just like it's all on the eyes, honestly.
I agree.
There's something about Dax Shepard's eyes that clue you into just nothing is happening up there. Like the wheels are not turning.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's again, it's very respectable. It's again another performance that is just so into it and not winking at the camera. And I love it.
Yeah, I wonder because I completely forgot that he has a podcast. I wonder if he's talked about the making of this movie at all. Because one of
Mm,
my favorite scenes in the movie from Dax Shepard, it's not like my favorite scene, but for him specifically,
yeah.
other than the scene where Joe first breaks into his apartment, or like the pod breaks into his apartment, and he's just like laughing at "ow my balls" or whatever it is. The scene that I think Dax Shepard works the best in is the one where they're at Costco and they're trying to get on the train to get to the time machine. And what I love about it is that he really plays up the idea that Frito can only hold one thought in his head at the time, because they're talking about the time machine, and then Rita, uh, Maya Rudolph's character, Rita, is like, "Hey, I need to go use the bathroom," or something like that, and she starts walking off, and his eyes immediately like they kind of like glaze over, like they're being pulled. And he's immediately just like, "Hey, Joe, can I get some of that?" And he's like, "Yeah, because I really like sex with women or whatever."
Right.
Like he completely forgets about what they're talking about, where they are, what they're doing, and his eyes the whole time, like they just kind of like it's almost like they turn inwards on themselves a little bit. And then he starts doing this, and it's the whole reason why they get caught, because he gets caught on the cameras, which is why they get arrested and all that stuff. But I just
Mhm.
love how you can see, like you said, in his eyes how it's like it's almost like the one thought was on the right side somewhere over here, like he literally has to like check it in his head, and then the new thought is like coming in from this side, and he's like, wait a second. And it just like pulls him over to that side. It's just so good. It's so good. The face and everything with the like the lip that just kind of is always like kind of hanging
Mhm.
out and drooling. I love that scene. I think he plays that up so masterfully. And even when Joe's like yelling at him, like, "Hey, you calm down, like you're gonna get us caught or whatever," which is again inevitably what happens.
Mhm.
But I just love that, like every single thought that comes into his mind, like it almost looks like a light switch is just turned off, or like his brain is just gravitating
Yeah.
to it. Even in the court scene, when he's trying to defend Joe, and he's like, "The lawyer said you did it," and then he kind of like starts looking over at the lawyer, and it's like Joe has to like grab him. "Hey, back this way, buddy." Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to be defending me. It's
Right.
really good. It's really good. And I like Dax Shepard. I don't like Dax Shepard because Kristen Bell is my celebrity crush. My wife has given me the hall
Mm.
pass that
Mhm.
on that
Yeah.
whole nonsense or whatever. But it's hard for me not to like him. He's such a likable person, and yes, I do think he is a great actor, especially a good comedic actor. Um, and it's hard not to like him, especially in this movie.
Yeah.
Frito Pendejo, which literally means, I think the translation is like fried pubes or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah, dude.
YouTube. Fried pubes. You hear
Uh, I again, this is really hazy, but what'd you think of at least in this rewatch? What did you think of Terry Crews and being president and whatever?
I love Terry Crews. I think he is a great kind of character actor. He gets typecast a little bit, but I remember him from, I mean, obviously this movie, but then seeing him do some of like the Old Spice commercials, and seeing him
Hmm.
in like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and things like that afterwards. I still think this might be my favorite role of his.
Yeah.
Um, and again, it's the subtleties that I really like. How when he's introducing, they're at the House of Representatives or whatever, and everybody's like, "Eh, boo, boo," and he's like, "I'm gonna fix it. I got a solution for everything." They're like, "That's what you said last time." And the way he fumbles the word economy to say economy or something
Hmm.
like that, economy, he fumbles it, and it's
Hmm.
like I can't even do it like on purpose the way he fumbles it. It just
Yeah.
seems so natural. But I like both the character, the way it's written. I think Mike Judge did a really great job of like writing the character. I wonder if he had Terry Crews in mind when he was thinking about that, or if
Yeah.
that was an actual audition, because I just think like everything that I expect from President Camacho as a character is like what Terry Crews just kind of portrays. He really reminds me of the kind of that toxic masculinity from movies like Predator, where they're all like the big
Yeah.
oiled, they're always oiled up, they got the guns, they're super quote unquote patriotic and all that stuff.
Hmm.
I just he plays it so straight and so well that it's like entirely believable that out of all the people, out of all the idiots in the movie, that he would be president.
Yeah.
So I think it's really great. I think Terry Crews did a great job. I'm a big fan of his, and I think he nailed it.
Fumbling over fairly normal words kind of
Yeah,
reminds me of somebody else who
yeah,
happens to be president.
yeah,
So, again, very prophetic. Uh,
yeah.
back in
That's also
2006.
I know I've seen some behind the scenes like photos or clips or whatever
Mhm.
from the filming of President Camacho's thing, and there's a deleted scene on the disc of kind of like a little extra scene with him, but he's so focused on himself that that's also something that I see as like very prophetic about this movie, is that the president doesn't actually care about the people that he's governing. He cares about the perception those people have of him.
Right.
And it's a slight difference, but it's a difference that's like big enough, you know, that being able to play that well is again subtly written, subtly done. Great job,
Mhm.
Terry Crews. Great job, Mike Judge.
What do you think about Luke Wilson playing again the
Yeah,
straight man?
actually, so he's the reason for the connection from this week from last week,
Yeah.
because of watching Legally Blonde. He was in that film, so that's why we chose Idiocracy, was because of Luke Wilson. I actually think he's very, very understated in this. When we were watching Legally Blonde, I had mentioned that a lot of the cast in the commentary talked about how he was a great choice because he feels so much like an everyman. He's just like
Mhm.
a genuine, nice person that you don't really like ever doubt his intention or whatever. So he's like good for characters like he was in Legally Blonde. And I think this is also like a really good example of that, because that's ultimately what he's playing in this movie. He's the audience stand-in. He's the everyman from our time that is like, I mean, it literally could be any of us, anybody who's that just kind of this unspectacular, middle of the road, average person dumped into a situation where suddenly now you're the smartest person on the planet.
Mhm.
My favorite part of his performances are the confused looks that he gives, um,
Right. 'Cause there
because
are a lot.
yeah, and that's the thing, is it's really, I think, easy for everybody recognizes what a confused look looks like, but he has a bunch of variations on the
Yeah.
confused look. So it's not just the same, like, it's not just the same confused look every single time. He has so many of them, and the range is like really great, because some of them is like he does this little like he just shakes his head like he's trying to like shake the thought out of it. It's like okay, whatever. Let's not worry about that. That might be one of the stupidest things I ever heard, but I don't have time to deal with it. Let's
Right.
focus back and get back to what we were talking about. And then he has others where it's just like it's really that heavy set sunken in, like eyebrow raised, mouth open, like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Um, and he does it really, really well. Even the scene where the doctor is like, stick this in your mouth, put this in your ear, this goes in your butt or whatever, and he mixes them up, and he's just kind of like, and like, I love the way he's like confused, but you could see he's trying to like keep track of where they are, and then he's just like, the look of defeat on his face as he has to like grab them and be like, ugh, and then stick the thing in his mouth. It's just really great. It's really, really great performances that I don't think, I for sure didn't really give him a lot of credit, because it just seems like a dumb, funny movie. But
Mhm.
they really are. I think it's hard to pull off some of that more reptilian emotion in a way that doesn't get boring over the course of the movie. And again, both Dak Shepard and he do a very, very good job of it. And even Rita Maya Rudolph, I think Maya Rudolph does a really, really good job of playing up somebody, because in modern society where she would have come from, uh, she's potentially taking advantage of people by being a prostitute, but that also comes with the idea that she's being taken advantage of as a prostitute as well, but she's consciously doing it. So at least in that regard, it's somewhat of an equal relationship, two consenting adults exchanging money for sex or
Mhm.
whatever. But then she gets into the future, and the way that she plays that process, because it doesn't it's obviously no longer equal, but then on top of that, she somehow is able to make each of the other characters feel like they're the ones getting the deal out of this situation. And
Right.
yet I honestly don't think she sleeps with anybody once she gets into the future. Like, it's literally just exploiting everybody's stupidity over and over and over again. And I think there's a spot where she gets, because he pardons her, she gets arrested, and the reason she gets arrested is because she quote unquote promised somebody sex and then doesn't deliver on it or whatever. And even that is like awesome because she has moments of vulnerability where she, you
Mhm.
know, goes to when they go out sneaking behind the bushes, she kind of like lets her guard down and is like, "Hey, thanks for pardoning me. Like, you didn't have to do that." And he's like, "I know, but like we're the only two normal people here now." So just the way she plays that, I think is really really good. I also I'm a pretty big fan of Maya Rudolph. My wife and I watch Loot,
Yeah.
which is a really funny show that is it actually reminds me a lot of Idiocracy because it has a lot of this it has a lot of similar moments where characters are just like they're goofy, but I think you could tell that the actors themselves are not that vacuous or stupid or whatever in real life.
Mhm.
So the fact that they can play those characters, and even just some of the characters are you know, naive, maybe is like their worst quality or whatever, but they play them really really well. So
Sorry,
it's
what
nice
was
to
the name of
see that
that?
you Loot.
Loot.
Loot. It's on Apple TV, I believe, is the network
Yeah.
that has that. And there's you know there's a quite a few big names in there, but she's the star of the show, and I think it's well deserved. Her success, at least in my mind, is well deserved. I don't think she got
Yeah.
enough credit on SNL, and this movie especially, I don't think she gets enough credit for. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually going through the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast right now,
mm,
and inevitably, Maya Rudolph comes up, every once in a while, and like, yeah, everybody who witnessed Maya Rudolph on SNL, at least the cast members and the writers and people who are behind the scenes at SNL, they're like, she's the one. She's it. She has
hmm
the it factor, and she is like the most talented out of anybody else in this entire building right now. Like
wow,
she truly has it all.
that's
An
awesome that they give
incredible
her that
singing
praise.
voice, and yeah, like
Yeah. Yeah. It's Cecily Strong is another person. She has Schmigadoon is a TV show also on
I
Apple
saw that.
TV. That's like a musical kind of show. And she's
Yeah.
another, you know, she's another SNL alum that I think is underutilized. But the thing that
Mhm,
gets me about Maya Rudolph in Idiocracy is I mean in one way or another, she's kind of the hero of the movie because
mhm.
if it wasn't for her at the end of the movie, nobody would even see that the crops are growing to stop the rehabilitation proceedings.
Right.
Um, what that even that is so funny to me. The fact that they call like this you know gladiator-esque style Coliseum battle of monster trucks and morons a
Right.
rehabilitation is great job,
Mhm.
Mike Judge. Great job.
What do you think about like a little bit more like filmmaking or technical aspects? Like kind of like how I thought, at least the first act of Legally Blonde had some pacing issues.
Yeah.
Were there similar things looking back on it? Because it is 20 years old now.
Yeah, that's
So
the weakest part of the film for me is you know, the cinematography. There's not really much cinematography to speak of. A
yeah.
lot of and again, I think it's just a budgetary thing. A lot of what they had to work with relies on matte paintings to age up all the buildings or all the different places that they're in. They have a couple sight gags that are obviously filmed on green screen with like just an actor, and then everything else is filled in with either some pretty minimal CG or like basic CG, and it doesn't
Mhm.
hold up that well. And
Yeah.
then I don't really think Mike Judge ever really tries, even with like the framing of certain shots. I think the framing of it is mostly done for yucks, for shits and giggles, kind of sort of a thing. So it's not like
As
it's,
opposed
it's
to like symbolic framing
yeah, yeah. It's
or yeah.
there's not very much framing in the movie that is, it's not like Oh Brother Where Art Thou, where
Yeah.
or actually Road to Perdition. I did the write up on our blog about the right hand man, where they're
Right.
constantly playing with the right and left play, and then what side of stuff people on, whether they're close together or far apart. There's very
Mhm.
little of that kind of I don't know, intentionality, I guess, in the
Yeah.
framing of this movie. So it's definitely the worst part of it for me. It's not to say it's bad, but it is distracting in a couple places.
Mhm.
And so it's kind of hard to say that, there's a lot of stuff. But again, I don't know what the behind the scenes stuff is. If they film this on like a, $100,000 budget and all the actors worked for free or something, then I'd be like, hey, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
But it's definitely jarring. It's the one thing that sticks out to me the most is whether that when anything where the characters aren't like tight in with each other is kind of not great. And then anything where there's like a wide shot where they're in a specific location, it's pretty obvious that there was like minimal stuff done to make it seem futuristic, other than putting like a couple props here and there.
Yeah.
Like I think about the doctor's office might be the most expensive prop heavy area that they have that's not like just a set design.
Mhm.
So that part of the production is the weakest.
And you said that you watch your physical media through a PS5.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How did a DVD look on that?
Honestly, pretty bad. Pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Pretty
Our
pixelated?
yeah. Well, yeah, pixelated. So it probably could have been better, but I have all the upscaling stuff turned off on both my TV and on the
Oh,
PS5.
yeah.
So for when watching movies, I don't like the motion smoothing. I don't like
Sure.
the 4K and higher upscaling. So I have all that stuff turned off just because, again, I want the movie to speak for itself as much as possible, and I want to watch it in the way that it was intended when it was kind of released, or at least the way that the director intended it. And
Mhm.
especially with like modern TVs, I don't think our TV uses AI or anything for the upscaling. It might
Yeah.
use like some basic machine learning to scale it up from whatever the footage is. But yeah, it was pretty grainy. It was pretty kind of blurry. It very much looks like a DVD. There's very little clarity to most of the shots. But I also feel like, because I can't even imagine, like Cinco said earlier, that this movie deserves a 4K release. And although I
Mhm.
agree with that, I wonder how they could pull that off without potentially having to redo some of those matte paintings, or at least,
Yeah.
getting them redone, because it just I feel like the fact that it was on DVD hides a lot of the stuff that would be really, really noticeable in that kind of cheap production. um like the scene where the garbage avalanche happens, I think that would
Mhm.
look terrible in 4K without some kind of
Yeah.
some kind of deal. Didn't you post an obsession meme about motion smoothing? Who is you?
You talking about me? You talking about
It,
me?
it must be talking about you.
um
Motion smoothing, like from the toilet?
I may have, because I can't stand that stuff. Um to make it look like it's like a soap opera. I
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I turned that off immediately.
Yeah, that
It's
is literally, if I get a new TV, that is literally the first thing I do.
Yeah, same. Same. And even like on the Apple TV, Apple TV 4K, I have like content matching turned on so that, if a movie is whatever, but I don't have it set to do any of the upscaling through the TV or any of that other stuff. I just
Wow.
don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't. I haven't messed with that stuff, so I can only imagine it just my Samsung Frame TV just automatically upscales stuff. Because I do remember watching Super Bad a little bit ago,
Mm.
because I own it on DVD, and that's the only way that I own it. So I just popped it in just because I had it, and obviously, if you walk up to the TV, it looks terrible. But, sitting on my couch, it looked decent. So,
Yeah, I would say that the only time I really care about when stuff like that is bad is when it takes me out of the movie. And
mhm.
unfortunately, I will say that Idiocracy did have a couple times where it takes you out of the movie like that. Mostly, again, when they're doing those big wide shots of like all the garbage piles or the garbage
Yeah.
avalanche, or even in that deleted scene, the Museum of Fart. Like that is when they pan up, it's very clearly like a matte painting that they used the facade of a real building, for at least part of it, and then they just kind of like slap the logo on it.
Right.
There's also that scene which I find hilarious, but the St. God's Memorial Hospital or whatever it is, and like they ran out of space for the letters. That's
Yeah.
a funny gag, but it takes me out of the movie because it's very clearly like an animation.
Yeah.
They faked that, which fine, but it's not like high quality CG or anything. Like now something like that wouldn't even be an issue. You could easily throw something like that up and it would look photorealistic and it would be
Mhm.
fine. But in terms of this movie, immediately took me out of it. And like the time
Yeah.
machine scene. What's nice is that the scenes where they're looking at like the crops and stuff, that's obviously a real set or like a real place, but then they extend it out so that the fields just seem like they're endless.
Mhm.
Um, so that didn't take me out of the movie too much, but literally anything with a matte painting and again, it's mostly for a gag. So
Yeah.
it's a kind of a shame that it has to take you out of the movie, but the gags work, so it's kind of like I'll forgive it.
I honestly wonder if it even deserves a 4K then, just because definitely because of the budget. They didn't have a lot of budget to do heavy CGI or, you know, spend a lot of time on those matte paintings. So yeah, I would imagine it would be glaringly obvious if it's crystal clear 4K, you know?
Yeah, well, and here's the thing about a 4K release is I wonder, like there's been movies where they've done 4K releases where they're obviously like upscaled or like, we talked with Brad about James Cameron using AI and stuff to kind of fix up old stuff. I feel like if Mike Judge wanted to upscale some of those effects and some of those matte paintings and stuff, because back in the day, like that's what he wanted it to look like and they just didn't have the budget for it.
Mhm.
I would be okay with that being the 4K release because I think it's a 2K master. So, a Blu-ray isn't high enough quality really to capture all of that, but a 4K is like too high. So if they were going to do something like that, I think I would be okay with it as long as the disc included the original release as well. Like I would want to have both of
Mm.
those. Maybe
Yeah.
do the DVD version or just do like a 35 because it was on 35 millimeter. So do a
Yeah.
35 millimeter scan in Blu-ray and in 4K, but include both of the discs in the box. And then if you're going to do the 4K one, redo that one, like redo the effects or the visuals on that one, leave the Blu-ray version alone and just have that as the natural, 35 millimeter scan.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be perfect to me. And
I
yeah,
could
I
get
agree with you
behind
too.
that.
I would love for Arrow to do, an updated comment or a commentary with some of the actors from the movie and just, talk about their memories of it because I'm very curious about the production of this movie and unfortunately there's very little to be found except for in like interviews with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Brondo. Got to have the can of Brondo or the bottle of Brondo. They used to sell it actually. That is one of the promotional things that they did is that you used to be able to go to brondo.com. I
No
don't know how
way.
I don't know how I know this, but you used to be. Oh, is it still up? Oh, no.
No? Dang it.
There used to be a Brondo website. I wonder if the Internet Archive still has it. But you could actually order bottles or cans of Brondo.
Wow.
Omni Consumer Products. Oh, this is the license. Okay. So there's a website that you can see what the cans look like, but they sold cans of Brondo.
Yeah. Yeah,
The Thirst Mutilator.
yeah.
Oh, wait, is there a company that actually Oh, no. Okay. There's a
Dang it.
brewery that makes a beer called Brondo, the Thirst Mutilator. Wow, I wonder how they haven't gotten sued for that or whatever.
No. Maybe because maybe if it was a more successful movie, they could actually take some, maybe
Yeah.
some class action or yeah,
It's wild
litigation,
to me.
whatever.
Everybody that I know knows this movie, so it's crazy to me that it didn't really get the release that it deserved.
Yeah.
I also I think I read somewhere it might have been IMDb that all the logos for the corporations that they use in the movie are changed slightly. so that they don't get sued, or so that they didn't get sued, except for Fox News. The Fox News logo is the same. And I don't know this for sure, but to me that seems like such a great joke because Fox News is a conservative network. So it's funny to me that 500 years into the future or whatever, they would still not want to change their logo. Like
Exactly.
that
Uh,
makes me laugh. Oh wow, was it still? Sorry, I'm just searching really quick. I wish. Yeah, okay. I'm
yeah,
gonna
I'm
share
looking
my
at
screen.
trivia too.
Can I share my screen on this StreamYard thing?
Yeah, do
Look
it.
at this. Look at this.
Present.
So, can you see that?
Yeah.
So this was the Braun. I'm on archive.org, and it looks like it was live until last year.
Oh, wow.
So they still, maybe not, because okay, maybe these aren't pulling up. I remember going to this site, and you could it was like a limited edition thing, but you could
Yeah.
buy a can or maybe even a 6-pack of like Brondo. You could buy a case of Brondo.
It's got what plants crave.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, I remember Brondo events. I remember when they were doing these.
Wow.
I like money. Yeah. Yeah. And these I think were all Flash. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Add on MySpace. That's so funny. Oh yeah, there's a button, buy Brondo. Wow. Man, navigation on websites has changed a lot.
Yes.
Look at this nice little simple text menu up at the top of the page. That's pretty funny.
Oh man.
Anyway, Brondo's the thirst mutilator.
I mean, even though it went out of, even though they shut it down last year,
Well,
I
and
think
I
they
don't
should
know
bring it back.
they have a marker for it for last year, but it looks like all of
Yeah.
the ones from the last couple years are coming up as it just failed to crawl the website. So
Ah,
it might not have been last year that it was up,
yeah.
but I'm sure somebody can go through every single, click of the link in the archive and see when's the last time it was actually archived. Because yeah, I'm at like 2019 and it's still down. Anyway, back to the movie.
Even if it was just like not necessarily a drink you could actually drink, but just a replica of it, that
Hmm.
would, I think that would sell.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it would be funnier if it was an actual drink though. Like if you got like a can of
yeah.
Brondo with the movie, because you know what it'll happen is you'll have people that like, there's collectors right now. You can go on eBay and buy a can of crystal clear Pepsi from
Mm,
like the 80s or whatever,
right.
unopened.
Hmm.
And I don't remember whose channel it was, but there's like a guy that goes and he like buys old drinks like that. Or somebody had McDonald's like sauce cups for like from back in the
Oh,
day with like the original logo, and he opens them and eats them. And I remember he drank crystal clear Pepsi and was vomiting on on stream or whatever for like a good 10-15 minutes.
because it was
It
so old.
Yeah, because it had all like settled. It was like I don't know, it was like
Oh,
thick a little bit, and I guess because it didn't have whatever gives the cola that like caramel coloring initially, like it was bad. It was bad. It was bad.
I mean, I guess that's gonna get people to click.
Yeah, yeah. That's what we should do. Is we should have bought a can of Brondo from eBay. Let's see if they have it, and drank it live on stream,
Right.
just for Bro Cinco.
Dang.
Oh man, $180. There is
For
a
an
brand new
actual
for an
can?
actual can of Brondo from the promo tour from the
Wow.
website that we just saw,
Unopened?
unopened, and there's only one listing. Wow, this makes me want to buy it. That's like a one of a kind thing. I would unfollow you. All right, fine, I won't do it then. Maybe that's what we should do for the giveaway. If you enter the giveaway this week, If you subscribe to our paid channel, I'll buy you a can of Brondo from eBay.
Right.
That's
That would be
hilarious.
cool.
Yeah, it's like a one of a kind thing. It's like a total collector's thing. You know,
Mhm.
they only did it for a limited time and you can't get it anymore. Um, Going back to the movie though, I do like actually that plot point. That actually seems smart for me. The whole reason why Brondo and Gatorade and that stuff work is electrolytes, and so them pouring it on the plants, like that's actually valid. It would kill those plants if you watered them with electrolytes all the time because they're salts, they're nitrite salts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
I really like that was at least
It would,
it's a smart plot point.
yeah, it would dehydrate them. They would wither and die.
Yeah.
Oh well. Uh yeah. I mean, I think we might have hit everything. Do you have other stuff that you wanted to cover?
Not really. I will say that even though I don't like the matte paintings, I do like all the little subtle art stuff that they did, you know, that they didn't necessarily have to do for like background props and things. Um,
Mm.
there's a lot of little background props that are pretty funny. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think of if there's anything else about the movie. I didn't really have any of the other. I didn't really take that many notes because I've seen this movie so often that, or seen it so many times, I should say. But I feel like it was pretty fresh anyway. But I did watch it
Mm.
yesterday, so
Good for you.
yeah, yeah.
That's more than I can say.
I wonder if there's a way we can start like a petition, like a change.org thing or something to get, you know, one of these like Arrow. I would love to see an Arrow or a Shout release
Yeah.
of the movie with some updated stuff because I'm really curious. That's the thing that I want most from this movie is behind the scenes stuff that I didn't really get because, you
Yeah.
know,
Because I
it's just
do want to hear the whole story of what a disaster it was.
yeah.
And like you were saying, like everything that could have gone wrong basically did.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just to hear my judge's perspective on that, but also hear, I honestly think a director's commentary would be better now, to just
I
kind of,
agree.
you know, take a look back at what it, the whole process, and as these memories are kind of unfolding as he's watching it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it
Well,
would
and in
be.
hindsight, having like knowing that at the time, like a director's commentary at the time, if they had recorded it, knowing that the studio was basically trying to minimize the reach of this film as much as possible, and now seeing that, like you said, it's become a cult classic that
Mhm.
everybody knows. That oh, I thought this said Dolby Atmos. I was like, what the hell? It just says Dolby Audio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and you know the jokes. Do they still stand up? Do they still? You know, especially with how much it feels like the movie kind of predicted some things happening in the future with people.
mhm,
And also without like completely missing the social media trend. Like the movie doesn't have phones in everybody's hands in the future. We're
true.
just but they are still stuck to screens,
Mhm,
you know. It kind of I mean not necessarily predicted maybe, but like the bump of like stuff like Jackass,
mhm.
it really like kind of played that up in the whole reality TV game. It just it's funny that how much they got right without getting everything right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and again, I would love to hear Mike Judge's perspective on, um, just how interesting it is, the fact that what he wrote about, just seemingly offhand, to make a satire of just America, and that it has almost literally come true. Like,
Yeah.
to just have that, just him expressing his feelings about that now would
Mm-hmm.
be, amazing. Yeah, I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
Petition.
Yeah. Where do we sign up? We got to find a place
Yeah,
because I genuinely, you know, I would even be interested in a documentary. It doesn't have to be a long one, but a short documentary on the making of the movie plus, you know, the reaction to it now
yeah.
would be pretty interesting to me too.
Hell yeah. All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think that covers Idiocracy.
Yeah, this makes me want to watch Office Space now. I wonder if we can tie that back in somehow because our movies coming up are not related to Luke Wilson anymore or
No,
Mike Judge. So we're gonna have to
correct.
try to find a way to squeeze that in. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I watched I also have that on DVD, Office Space. Um
yeah, same.
so but yeah, I remember I watched it maybe 6 months ago. So it's kind of fresh in my mind, but definitely I would enjoy watching that over again for this podcast. So yeah, we could
Yeah,
probably squeeze that in sometime in the next couple of couple of months or something.
yeah. Well, next time we're doing the Birdcage, right? So our next
Correct.
after the credits is going to be the Birdcage, and then we're hoping potentially if it lines up with the theater release because they're Birdcage is going to be in theaters June 7th and June 10th as part of a Fathom Entertainment event,
Yeah.
and then also Ocean's 11. We're going to be doing hopefully at the end of June because that's also going to be in theaters for the release. And I also own that on Blu-ray as well,
Mhm.
so that's pretty awesome. But I don't know what will connect for the double take from those movies because there's some great connections in both of those.
Yeah. I mean, we could, Birdcage has Robin Williams. There's plenty of Robin Williams stuff we could choose.
That is true, and I am a huge Robin Williams fan, so I would like to go through some of that catalog.
Yeah.
So,
And
if there's any particular movies you guys want us to cover or that you'd like to watch with us, again, the point of Hidden Movie Club is that everybody's supposed to watch these movies with us. So, we encourage you to watch The Birdcage with us. We encourage you to watch Ocean's 11 with us, and then, jump on the live stream and talk with us. Yeah,
Mhm.
Bro Cinco. That's actually the first one that came to my mind was What Dreams May Come. That's a very, very beautiful movie.
You know what I have not seen yet that Robin Williams is in, because it's just it passed over me because of just my age,
Patch
but
Adams.
also the fact that I wasn't allowed to watch rated R movies growing up as a
Oh,
kid. Was
1 Hour Photo.
no,
Insomnia. Is that
Good Morning
Robin Williams?
Vietnam.
Oh, hey, that's a great one too. I haven't
Yeah,
actually seen that movie in a very, very long time.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe we'll
no,
do
yeah,
Good
Insomnia.
Morning Vietnam. That's a good one. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, because I'm just very curious because that's early in his career too, as far as jumping into movies because
Yeah,
he started off in TV.
yeah. And I actually honestly don't remember any of that movie, so that would be great.
Yeah,
I might even do a double feature. I might watch What Dreams May Come and Good Morning Vietnam, even if we cover just Good Morning Vietnam on
I
the
do
cast.
remember I've seen What Dreams May Come once, and I remember it was visually stunning, but I
Hmm.
don't remember much beyond that.
That's part of the reason why I want to watch it because it is very, very visually beautiful.
Yeah,
Um, but also, Good Morning Vietnam is kind of like you said, the film that springboarded Robin Williams from just being on TV into like really an actual actor.
yeah,
And like then he's got Good Will Hunting, which was really, really good movie. Couple others where he plays like serious roles, and I really, really appreciated Robin Williams' serious roles. It's
mhm,
not very often. Like as much as I hate to say it, I love Jim Carrey as a comedian, but some of his serious movies just didn't land for me. I
yeah.
love Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and stuff like that, but like he did that. What is it? The Number 23 or whatever.
Oh,
That was just like, and I don't know that I've seen any Robin Williams movies like that where I was just like completely no, it didn't do it for me. So I'd be curious to get into that catalog a little bit.
yeah.
But
Because
in any
I
case, oh,
Because yeah, I love how Hidden Movie Club is also like forcing me to be introduced to movies I haven't seen. Because there's so many movies I have not seen at all. So
yeah.
and so many classics too that I
Mm-hmm.
kicking myself that I haven't seen. So
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good. So you have seen Good Morning Vietnam
no,
or no?
not at all.
And have you seen What Dreams May Come?
Once.
Once. Okay. Yeah. Let's do Good Morning Vietnam. And then if we can sneak in What Dreams May Come at some point, I would love to do that. But
Yeah.
those would be good. Yeah, Bro Cinco, the four if that comes out in 4K, that would be honestly for me, that would be an instant buy.
What dreams may come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because visually that movie, if they have an actual like master that would make use of the 4K, it's so beautiful. There's just so many weird, kooky, colorful scenes in that movie that it actually really reminds me of. Wait, it's coming? Oh, I did not know this.
Pre-order through who?
I didn't even
Who
realize that they were
has
releasing that.
who has what dreams may come?
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Cinco.
Oh,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Groove. That's right.
Yeah,
I remember getting
Target's
an
got it.
email about this. Dude.
I did not. I did not. It's a Shout Factory release. That's
Ah,
awesome.
yes.
And Cinco, is it getting a steelbook by
I
any
don't think so
chance?
because Groove is good about offering steelbooks if they're available. So the fact that this shows it doesn't look like it's
I just don't like Groove's shipping, as weird as that is.
yeah, they tend to
Whoever I mean, not that I care, but like whoever they use is like, I'll get a notification that it's shipped, but it's like one of those, they just printed the label or whatever. And then it
yeah.
actually comes, I've gotten the discs before the shipping notification has updated that it's like out for delivery or whatever.
Right.
So it's like, okay.
Yeah, just looking at it's you can on Groove you can get What Dreams May Come in 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD, but I don't see a steelbook version.
Doing it. I'm doing the 4K collector's edition.
Oh
That
my god.
gorgeous, gorgeous movie. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Oh shit,
Sweet.
they have a RoboCop 2 steelbook too. Anyway,
2 Robo, 2 Cop, that one.
yeah. That's all I have for Idiocracy. Elon, you got anything else from Idiocracy you want to talk about?
Do I? No, I'm good on it. I will. I'll have to watch it, so then I can be caught up after the fact.
Yeah, don't forget about Birdcage for next week.
Yeah, because it's I'm gonna try and see it in the theater tomorrow night.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well, we'll see you guys again. As always, subscribe to the Hidden Movie Club newsletter to get notified of when we have streams and when we're going to be online. We also do giveaways for all of our paid subscribers. So if you subscribe to the Substack, or I guess you could subscribe on YouTube too, we'll give away the movie that we are discussing or previous movie that we've talked about, your choice. So please sign up and let us know. And as always, comment, reply to the newsletters, leave comments there on stuff you want us to watch in the future.
Word of mouth, please.
And most importantly, watch the movies with us. It is, in fact, a movie club. So the point is to watch the movies with us and, share your thoughts on them during the stream as well and in the comments.
Like a book club.
But for movies, that's hidden.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone, but tell people.
Yeah. Okay, before we wrap up, I have a quick question for people in the comments. Maybe Cinco has seen it. We talked about Speed Racer a few weeks ago with Brad about the 4K release, and I keep seeing people talk about how great this movie is, and I don't remember it ever being lauded as being great by any means. Is it something I should watch? Can somebody please tell me if I should watch Speed Racer?
Yeah, because I never saw it either.
It's a Wachowski film, so I feel like I should watch it, but it's almost like there are two sides that I keep hearing. Yeah, okay. I keep hearing that it's trash, and then I keep people saying that it's like awesome and that it's a must watch. And I'm like, I've never seen a movie that's so polarizing. That is like people telling me that I would be wasting my time by watching it, and then there are people being like, "No, you have to see it." That's
Mhm.
so weird to me that a movie is that polarizing.
Because it seemed like, because the algorithm is definitely favoring the fact that I collect physical media whenever I, search, scroll through threads.
Hmm.
And yeah, the past couple of weeks, I continue to see people who are genuinely excited that they finally got their copy of Speed Racer in 4K. And I'm like, well, there's
Like even the fact that
obviously
it's
some
sold out
fans.
on Groove is like
Yeah,
crazy to me.
right. So clearly there's a big fan base.
Okay, Cinco says we should watch it, but then give it away after. Okay, maybe we'll do just that. In any case, I'm submitting my order right now for What Dreams May Come
Yeah.
on Groove
Nyaki Groove.
using. All right, well, we'll see you guys next week for the Birdcage for after the credits. Thank you for joining, Cinco. Thank you for being here and for engaging with us. We really appreciate it. And I guess we'll see you guys next week and then the following week for what connection we pick from the Birdcage.
Yeah.
Whether it's Good Morning Vietnam or What Dreams May Come. We'll see which one gets here first.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. The suspense is killing me already.
This has been Hidden Movie Club Double Take. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Have a great